Hello, and welcome to the Brave New Weed podcast. And now, here's your host, Joe Dolce.
Welcome to another episode of the Brave New Weed podcast. I'm your host, Joe Dolce, and I'm here with Alan Seals, one of the co-producers and co-founders of the cast.
Hey, Joe.
Welcome, Alan. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I am happy to be bringing our trip to Denver to life.
Oh, me too. I have been so anxious to get this content out to the world. It changed the way I think about so much of everything in this industry.
It did? Denver?
Yeah. Just meeting the people and the business behind it. I'm one of those people who has always wanted to know how everything works. So when we get to talk to somebody who is the biggest gummy producer in the world, or someone who's inventing new technology to exactly dose, provide the exact microdose you need and then track it in an app that has physician feedback and rating system. It's like everything is just changing. We're at the beginning of this precipice that's just going to take us into a new realm.
I'm so glad you found this exciting, and I really want to share that enthusiasm with our listeners, because it was eye-opening. And as I said in the beginning here, it had been 4 years since I had been in Denver, and I mean, it's a great city. Some things remain the same, but boy, has the cannabis industry changed. So before we kick in, I have to say that this entire series is being sponsored by a great company there, which is called Go Fire. And Go Fire, you're going to hear from in a subsequent episode. But I want to tell you what they've created. One of the biggest problems with inhaling cannabis meds is getting a precise dose every time. And anybody who takes them knows this is an issue. Now this Go Fire has invented an inhaler and an app that makes dose control as easy as taking a breath. So this device and this app actually brings you clarity, control, and a lot more choice over the medicine you're taking. It's got technology that enables a precise 2.5 milligram meter dose with every inhale. That is a tiny amount of cannabis, by the way, folks, and an amazing that you can control it to that extent. Then there's this tracking app that allows you to keep a record and to really chart the results on your mobile device as you go. It also allows patients to search by ailments, and eventually there's going to be a community ratings that are going to help find products that work for different conditions. So you can download this Go Fire app and get started today. But as a special promotion, listeners to this podcast are eligible for a $200 pre-order discount on the Go Fire inhaler, the device. So go to gofire.co and use that code. It's BRAVE, B-R-A-V-E, for a special $200 discount.
Even though the device itself hasn't come out yet, it's about to be beta tested. You can get the app now, as I understand it. So I know it's in the App Store for iPhones. I actually don't know if it's an Android yet, but
it's coming. Android is coming. Not yet. I think it'll be out in April.
But yeah, so you can either search for it in the App Store or get it yourself at gofire.co.
You can like and follow the Brave New Weed podcast on all the best social media platforms. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/bravenewweed, or on Twitter @bravenewweed, or Instagram @bravenewweed.
Okay, so our first interview in our special Denver mini-series is with two micro-influencers. These are two women who worked at the now defunct Mass Roots, which was like a social community, online social community for cannabists. It went defunct, I think, a year ago, and these two peeled off on their own, and now they each create a blog, an Instagram blog, and actually earn a living blogging about cannabis and cannabis culture. Were you surprised by that, Alan?
Yes and no. I guess once I heard from them, and you can scroll back an episode or two in our feed here, and they're the first part of the Grasslands panel that Joe spoke on, and you can hear about how they got to where they are. But after hearing them, I guess there's influencers and everything. Just again, like you talk about, you do market research. If you're an edible company and you want to invest in your suppliers, because if you're going to make it big, they're going to make it big, and so they come in and they are just doing such a great job of having a brand for their own. It's their own personal brand that.
Two separate brands. They each have their own brand.
Well, yeah. Because like Sunny Daze, SUNNNY.DAZE, she's got 40,000 followers at the time we're recording this, and then Izzy Blaze, IZZ_BLAZEE, she's got 26,000 followers, calls herself the Good Time Guru, and they're lifestyle pictures. It's just them, but they are sponsored. They sell out their story and sometimes their posts, and they charge a good amount of money for this.
I think it's great. And when I think about, it's so sad that the Denver Post couldn't make the cannabis work. Why are they not hiring Izzy Blaze and Sunny Daze to go out there and do that kind of coverage?
Is it an age thing, do you think?
I don't think the Denver Post understands micro-influencers. And
that's what I mean.
I wasn't sure I understood it, but I think the interview that we have is quite enlightening, and I really encourage you all to listen to these two women and take on what they're doing. And if you're so inspired, follow them on Instagram.
And reach out to them, contact them. They are very responsive. Everything we posted to them and about them, they commented and liked, and some of it even got reshared. Like, they are real people, and they just happen to know how to make money off this. They're very smart young ladies.
My name is Izzy Ariano. I'm known as Izzy Blaze. On Instagram, it's Izzy_Blaze with 2 E's. I do have a standing YouTube show called The Izzy Blaze Show. Unfortunately, we're not uploading anything because people have been deleted, so we'd rather have our longevity on the show rather than short-term getting cut off. So that is still there, and the videos are excellent. And yeah, those are the 2 things that I really focus on mostly with that.
Okay.
And then you can always find me at Tetra Smoking Lounge during the week.
Okay, great.
My name's Whitney Adrian. I go by Sunny Daze on Instagram. That's with 3 N's in Sunny and then a period in between.
So just spell it out. Go on.
Okay, so it's at SUNNNY.DAZE.
Thank you.
There we go. I focus most of my attention on Instagram on that account. So yeah, that's where you can catch me.
So we met last night. We were on a panel in Denver together, and you two are so interesting to me because are you micro-influencer or full-on influencers in the cannabis space in Denver? What would you say?
I feel like we're both pretty multifaceted. I want to say that we are full-fledged influencers, but because her and I also do events and consultations and things like that, I think we are a little bit more than just the regular influencer. Okay. When I think of influencer, I think just social media.
No, you actually have real influence.
Yes,
is that what you're saying?
I think that we still do. Yeah, if we go to an event and we're like, hey, we're going to be here, we can drive traffic. So it is more of like an accessible kind of relationship as well.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And how old are each of you, may I ask?
26.
That's Whitney. And Izzy?
I am the great 28.
Well, that's right. You are 28. It was
I just turned 28.
all over your Instagram.
Proud of it.
I looked at your gram all morning.
Yes.
And so let's define what your gram is. You're a little like Oprah, right? You're inspirational.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I get compared a lot to
who?
Yusuf on YouTube, Ellen DeGeneres, and Oprah.
Okay,
Nice.
that's a nice mix.
combo
That's like a
of the
little
3.
blend.
You're crossing all ethnicities,
Yeah.
all genders, all ages, right? You're, okay, but what's your intention in? Because you're very narrative. You're telling a lot of story.
Right. I noticed that getting into this space, there wasn't really anybody who looked like me, who really did anything like me. There's not a lot of minorities. There's not a lot of LGBTQIA representation. And then I realized that my platform was definitely going to be more than cannabis. Because what I'm noticing now is like a loyalty that I have with people. People really resonate with the person that I am, rather than like the companies that I've worked with or anything like that. And so I've shifted from more of like just like cannabis to doing inspirational, motivational, how you can assimilate the things that I'm doing to your lifestyle. Like, I'm a very accessible person. You message me, I will message you back. I do FaceTime calls, like video chats. If people ever want to talk about things.
About
I'm
what?
there.
Like what? Like I just need to talk to you, girl?
Yeah, maybe
like,
you want to come out. Maybe you want to feel more comfortable in your skin. like one thing that I say is, did you bitch about the day or did you make the day your bitch? And so then for there, that really makes a shift. And so for me, I want people to feel something. I want to give something intangible. So it's just trying to find a way to like make people more comfortable.
And who's talking to you mostly? Is it people your age, elder,
I mean,
or
I get
esteemed
parents,
elders?
I get
You get parents.
kids. A variety of people. The cool thing is I'm bilingual, so I also get to speak to people who only speak
En
Spanish.
español. Muy bien. Okay, now Whitney, you're not Oprah.
No, I'm so shy.
Tell us how you conceive of what you're doing, though.
I definitely use my platform as more of like a creative outlet for myself. I really like photography. I love cannabis, so the best of both worlds come together.
But you're also a right-on woman. I mean, you're not going to do... What's so interesting is when you look at what a lot of stuff was, or maybe still is, it's a lot of, what are they called? Weed socks? Girls, topless girls are in really skinny bras with high socks, which has its appeal.
Yep.
Right?
Right, for a certain demographic, but
That's not you.
I think that's just like Izzy was talking about last night on the panel, like it's such an outdated form of marketing. And it just
How
kind
about
of
an outdated form of womanhood?
Yeah, that too. I mean, it's just kind of like, okay, do you think that people are following you because they trust your advice and want to like assimilate to your lifestyle, like Izzy said, or do they just want to see some skin? And it's
But you don't give advice.
I think that
like,
you do.
sort
I think
of.
that she has her own way. I think that Whitney has her own approach. There's like certain things like right now, things that she's going through with her dog. She's good about relationships. She's good about health, wellness, eating really well. I think that she does contribute to the health and wealth as well in that way.
Thank you.
Okay, so your wellness.
Yeah, that's more, I kind of strive to encompass the whole like lifestyle aspect. So not just, like Izzy said, cannabis, talking about my dog, traveling a lot, thrifting, all the things that I like to do that work really well with cannabis, but, it just shows off a different side of the
Have you
plant.
tried kava and cannabis together?
I have not,
she
but
would
I
love
keep
kava.
hearing that.
So kava tastes disgusting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it tastes like copper, right?
It tastes like dirty. What did you call it? Dirt with your dirty feet in
It's
it.
root water.
Dirty feet.
It's root water is what it tastes like.
What do you call it?
Like root water. It's like cabbage
Root
and
water.
dirt.
It's
and you
just awful, and it sort of burns and leaves your mouth numb. But it does impart.
Yeah, it's like
you do
super
sort of-
relaxing.
Yeah, it's super relaxing.
Yeah.
And we went to this place called Kava Sutra in Denver.
So good.
You've been.
I'm going to take Whitney.
Let's
We're
go after
committing
this.
right
And
now.
it's like this. It's a bar. It's really dark and chill, and there was a good mix of eccentrics, right? Wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
All types. And you have to drink 3 of these drinks, and it tastes.
have to.
Well, that's the only way you're going to get any effect.
They're going to get
at
the
all.
full effect.
But
yeah.
it would be really nice to mix it with cannabis. I think.
It would.
That sounds right up
Even
my
just
alley.
CBD would be nice. I mean,
Yeah.
I like full activation, so obviously THC as well. But yeah, CBD and kava, I think.
I like full activation. Okay, so let's talk about your business and how you do this. Okay, so there you are. You're 2 women with social accounts. How many followers do you have?
I have like right under 30K. I mean,
30K.
26K.
Okay, and you, Whitney?
39.
How'd you go from 0 to 30,000 in your business?
I basically started by just like kind of tried to focus on cross promotion and just interacting with other people in the community, going to events, getting out there in person is super important. And then also on social media, community engagement is very important. Just interacting with other people in the community and their posts and what they're talking about, having it be real engagement, like not just like great content, keep it up, having it be like, love this post, like that strain looks really nice, and keeping it personal and building those real relationships.
And what about you, Izzy? How did you go from 0 to 36,000?
I mean, it's opposite, but it's okay. Really, I think YouTube did a really good job, but I used to manage an apparel company before I really got into the industry. And so I was already networking at trade shows all the time. So when the Izzy Blaze show took off, I already had all these ancillary companies wanting to work. So with cross promotion, cross collaboration, that's just kind of how it happened. And so since I had done everything basically on the other side of the dispensary counter, I wanted to work at Bonfire because I wanted to learn the other side of it. And so through Bonfire, I meet people who follow me on social media all the time, different companies and stuff like that. So it was really more so like being physically at different places and meeting people like that.
Being
and
out there in the
social
world.
media just kind of carries itself.
How long do you think it took you to get from 0 to 30?
I mean, I've just really focused on Instagram now for like maybe a year and a half, but it's not a big push because I am more physically out there. So that's kind of what my focus is. But I have been trying to hone in on it and be a little bit better about it. But yeah, I just think it's not even so much like posting all the time. It's like, how much of myself am I putting in this? Like if you notice, like Whitney will edit her photos. She takes really good pictures. She's got the eye. So it's like she's putting herself into that. When you put yourself into something, people definitely assimilate with it more.
Good. And how do you're basically charting your own lives, telling your own stories. Nobody's telling you what to do.
Right.
Yet you have clients who are sponsoring. So
Right.
tell me how that works.
It can depend. It can go from like story posts to feed posts to something a little bit more longevity. Like I'll create marketing campaigns. One thing that I'm really focusing on after I threw the Glitter Bong Bash is I have a lot of
Glitter
people.
Bong Bash?
Yeah, so the Glitter Bong Bash was an event that I curated last year with another social media influencer named Aaron Richard. And it was the first LGBTQIA crossed with cannabis event in Denver. And so curating events right now has been really, really big because people really liked that. And so now I have clients who want me to help them with events or trade shows, engagement, really just like the more physical aspect, the more engaging aspect. And so that's kind of where I've been shifting lately.
Like bringing people to a place or
Yes.
to a venue or to an event? Is that the
Driving
idea?
traffic and not only getting people to go, but getting people to stay.
Okay. And Whitney, same for you or different?
Similar. I think that one thing that we both really strive to do, and Izzy's really good at it, is putting putting a personality behind a brand is really important these days, especially to younger generations. They really respond to that. So that's why it's really important for brands to be tapping into these micro niches where they can get in front of their target audience. And they're, interacting. The brand is pretty much directly interacting with their target consumers through us. So yeah, just content creation is where I usually start.
So we met, you guys were the beginning of a panel discussion. It was you and then a whole bunch of old journalists like me.
Yeah.
Handsome
And
people.
I love you so much. Gorgeous
Silver
little
fox.
creature. Silver. Titanium. I haven't hit silver yet.
Yeah, not quite.
But I kept thinking, you should be on the same panel with us because you're forming opinion. You're actually enabling information to happen, information exchange, and I felt like it's too bad they separated that because I think I think you would have had a lot to teach us. So how does your business work? Can we talk about business? Because I don't understand it.
Right.
So how do you charge? How do you get paid?
Right.
The basics, really. How do you figure it out? I mean, do you vary the price per client? Do they buy X number of posts from you? Do you vet them? Or are there people you'll say, no, I will not work with? Give me the story. Whitney, tell me yours first.
Okay, so I definitely start by vetting. Like we talked about, not going to work with brands who are going the sexy route.
No weed
because-
socks.
No weed socks. Yeah, I'm just not going to go that route. And I've actually gotten so much positive feedback from brands who are like, we want to work with you because you don't do that.
Yeah.
So that makes me want to do it even more. So yeah, just vetting to make sure that their values seem to align with mine. I definitely am like adventure oriented, nature oriented, health oriented. So, brands that seem to align with that, perfect.
How do I buy your services? How do I find out about you?
So people will usually shoot me an email or DM. We'll chat a little bit about what their goals are. What their budget is important.
Thank you.
We like to bring that in the beginning before we've gone through all these plans, and they're like, okay, cool. So we're gonna send you some product, and then you're gonna do all these posts for me. And it's like, it takes time to create content, to come up with thoughtful messaging. Like we were talking about last night, we don't want to make our pages seem spammy, like we're just out here to make some money. So, because that's not what we're here for at all. But it definitely is helpful to help us continue pursuing what we want to do with cannabis. So,
So you give it thought. You almost
Yes.
you write things down. Like
Yeah.
you create a platform or create a program.
Yeah, create a
Do they
little
ask you to?
a little campaign. A lot of people though will just be like, here's the rate that you requested. Here's the money. Creative freedom is all yours. You just do your thing. So that's a really
Which is
awesome
valuable.
place
That's
to
what
be.
you like.
Yeah, it's really nice to be trusted by the companies that you work with, and now we kind of have the privilege that we can say no to companies who want to like make us do a certain, style of content.
So how do you do it?
that's just not us.
Tell me, Izzy, how do you bill it? Like 100 posts a week, 10 posts
A lot of
day?
the times,
How do you figure it
people
out?
are wanting to do, like, say, for a lot of standard influencers, from what I've seen, is you're looking at like maybe if they're a higher one and you can see that there is results, you're looking at $100 for maybe 2 posts. For some people, it could be $100 for 4 posts, and that's on the feed. And then story posts could be different. So it does vary. For me, I think if I have like a really, really great relationship, for example, Resolution Colorado is a really good friend of ours, Dakota. Check that out. It is amazing. But
It's a
for them,
dispensary?
so Resolution Gel is actually a cleaning liquid.
Oh.
So instead of using alcohol and isopropyl, it's like reusable. It's really well made. It's really good for your glass. And so for him, I think that Whitney and I would be willing to do a lot for him just for free because, one, he provides us with product, but two, that has been some of the most unconditional support since before we even started. Mm-hmm. So if you've been working with me for a while, I'll be a little bit more lenient. But if you're just coming into the coattail of what we've been doing, I will charge you because I know you're not trying to be my friend. You're trying to do business.
It's called business.
Right.
It's a service.
And so some products don't pay the bills, but there are some products, for example, like if you're providing like cannabis for a shoot and the product and all of that, I'm willing to work with you. But it just has to depend, like, what am I getting from it? Because it's not about being selfish, but it's like, I know what value I bring. Right. You know what value I bring. We're really here for me. So it's like, let's find a way to make it about both of us.
What value do you bring?
Oh, what value don't I bring, Joe?
You are so full of value. You are
First of
value
all-
chalked.
Yeah, I just, you know what?
Or
I
value
thrive
plus.
with people. I went to school for business. International business is really important to me. My dad owns a lot of businesses, so I love operations. I love knowing what's going on, but I also am really good with people. I don't like to do sales because I'm not trying to sell myself, but I just love to like help you with team building, engagement. What are you looking for? Do you want to create a culture with your product? Do you want to create an experience? Let's do it. That's why I call myself the good time guru. Let's create an experience for people. It's not just about the product or the service, it's the experience.
Nice.
Totally.
What do you think of her experience, Whitney? How do you define her experience?
Definitely a good time.
What
yeah.
kind of experience is she giving you? What kind of value does Izzy bring to you?
She brings just so much life. Like I said, like bringing a personality to a brand on her, professional side, super valuable from a strategic marketing standpoint. As a friend, it's great to have someone like her in your life because gonna cry because she's just really positive
cry.
and warm and like just a good person to be around.
And
Just
gorgeous. You're both
spreads-
gorgeous. And how do you charge? In the same way? Or are you as random as that? Maybe $100 for 2 posts?
She's
I'll
worth
give you
so
the-
much more than that.
I mean, do you do like
Well,
Freedom Fridays? Do you
I
do
do-
like Discount
Well,
Tuesdays?
It definitely, I agree that like relationships mean a lot.
They do in business, by the
So
way, in all
much.
business.
Yeah, exactly. I think that it means a lot more to me when a business or a company or a person that you're doing business with shows you respect, and even though they can't pay you, they that they respect you. That is more important to me than like getting paid, honestly.
Oh, come on.
No, like
It is.
You have another job?
I do have another job. Yeah.
What's your other job?
I work for an experiential marketing company. So
So you're in it.
yeah, we do like influencer activations digitally, in person events, music festivals. It's
What are
really
they
cool.
called?
Ideazon. Yeah, really cool company. You should
Women
check them out.
empowering women, baby.
It's a
Yeah.
women's based experiential marketing
It's
company?
yes.
Women
it
run
is. Mm-hmm.
and owned.
Yep.
Right.
We actually did a campaign a few
yeah,
months
we did. We had
ago
a really
to
good time.
launch a music album. And they brought in all these cannabis influencers and who don't normally promote
Yeah.
music, and it just made such a cool impact because all of our followers were like, "What? Why are you talking about music? What's this album?" So
Great.
it was really cool. Yeah.
It was fun.
Excellent. And what's your part-time job, Izzy?
So I help with Bonfire Cannabis Company. And then I do content creation and stuff for other people. And then right now I'm just really focusing on wanting to curate revolutionary events.
And is Puffco one of your sponsors?
So Puffco, Chelsea, Roger, and Kevin are amazing people.
They've been
Chelsea's
on the podcast, by the way.
Yeah, Chelsea is
cool.
great.
Roger was
Chelsea,
one of our past episodes. Yeah.
we met, Chelsea and I have a lot of mutual friends, and then we finally met in person recently. And they're just a really good company. The way they do things is like, they are the powerhouse, they are the money, they make the decisions. So it's like a lot of the influencers that they work with, they're not really giving them anything. Like they know that people who work with the Puffco and who have it know the value of it. And so it's like, oh, if I need an atomizer or something like that, Chelsea's got you. You know what I mean? And so if you show value for them, they'll definitely show value. So I wouldn't say that they're a sponsor. They're just like a long-standing relationship that I definitely nurture because I appreciate them.
And what? So your part-time job is in a dispensary.
Yeah, so I do dispensary.
Okay, good. And is your goal to be a self-sustaining influencer, micro or macro? Is it a full-time opportunity? Is it a full-time possibility?
Yeah, definitely. There's so much room for it, especially in this industry. And there are also other industries that are starting to reach out, like healthcare, beauty, wellness type things that have started reaching out and are interested in working with people who are in this community, which is new. And a lot of times we are kind of shunned by other industries because they don't want their products to be associated
with cannabis?
Right.
That's not for
but
long.
now it's not
That's not
happening.
for long.
Yeah, that's
People
quickly
want a
changing.
taste of it, and we're the ticket in.
Yeah.
Ultimately, we are the ticket in.
You're the ticket in.
And that's why we also both don't focus just on cannabis, and we want to be all encompassing of our entire lifestyles.
Okay, so take out your phones right now and tell us something about Brave New Weed today. Will you do that?
What do you mean?
Tell your group that
Oh,
you did the podcast
of course.
today. Will you do
this
that?
is also going to be, guys, this is the Brave New Weed podcast right here. Make sure you follow them. Make sure you check them out. Tell them your names. That's you.
I'm Joe Dolce. That's
Look at that.
we're 2 of 3. Our third was Matthew Hendershot in Berlin.
What a cute pair of little cinnamon rolls. Am I right?
Do you want to know how cute we are? Should I tell you?
I can already tell. Tell me how cute
We
you
were
are.
in the kitchen in a restaurant last night, and this woman just sat down next to us, and she said to Alan, "I love your laugh. You have a great laugh."
Ooh, yes.
And to me, she said,
Give us a
"I
laugh."
love your jacket and your shoelace is untied. May I tie your shoe for you?"
Wow.
She tied my shoelace.
Wow.
If I was only a heterosexual
Royalty.
man, right? This would be the
what a
ideal.
time to be alive.
Honestly,
Thrive and survive, baby.
Daddy comes back.
I love the word daddy.
So, is there any other way that people can reach you, or anything else you'd like to tell me about how your business works for people who might be listening, who might be interested in partaking of your services?
I think one thing that I do want to preface, and I didn't get the chance to say this yesterday, was the one thing that you can tell if people really understand influencer marketing is that they're willing to contribute to your goals. So if they do have a marketing budget, if they do have a goal, if they do have they're not just like, here's some money, do whatever that you want. Like, yeah, we want creative freedom, but you also have to know what you're looking for because we know what we're looking for. And so we want people, it's really easy to understand if people value what we're doing, if we're trying to contribute to their goal and vice versa. And so I just think it's important to remember that what we're doing is not just posting on social media. What we're doing is not just surface level. We are adding value. And I think people fail to remember that because there's a reason why you guys are reaching out. There's a reason why being an influencer is so hype right now. And it's because we are a value and we are a company, we are a business. And I think that it's really important to enforce that because a lot of companies do. I mean, think about all the companies that we've had that have just been just really shady and, oh yeah, we got you, we'll take care of you. And then they don't take care of you. And so we do want, we are firm, we are strong women and we will say no, we will create boundaries. And I think people forget that just because we're also looking for work in our own way, that we're willing to buckle for other people. We have boundaries, other companies have boundaries. We want to work with people who are alike.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Do you work together? Are you a unit?
We work together.
We do work together a lot. We do trade shows together because we if you haven't noticed, we have this great dynamic when we're in person,
Yes, I've
especially.
noticed.
And so we met we started working together because we were walking around a trade show and everywhere we went, all these people kept following us kind of, and all these brands were like, we want you to work our booth so that people will come to it, because it's kind of hard to stand out at a trade show.
Yeah, it's really hard.
So now we're doing that for the third time now.
Yeah, this will be the third.
Would you guys consider
Vegas.
yourselves terp sluts?
No,
I learned that word last night.
I
the
love that.
opposite
I
of
term.
actually love that word.
I love the term. I love the term, but we are not that. Terp sluts is like 80% less clothing, and man, you'd be surprised what people are willing to do for a free gram of weed. That's what
You are not the terp sluts.
I'd say
No.
we're the opposite of that.
We are the complete- we are what
we
they
know how to
strive to
say
be.
no.
What do we call ourselves? Do we have a title for it?
Magnificent Radiant Queens.
Okay.
Like that.
MRQs.
Rolls right.
MRQs.
MRQs, baby. That's
You
what
are
we're
the
here for.
MRQs. I can't thank you enough for coming by to talk
thank
to
you
us in
guys so much.
Denver.
That was awesome.
I hope we can meet again.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh, we
absolutely.
will. We will. We will not ride on hope. We will.
We'll be following you.
Yes, we will. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
If you would like to be the first to know what Brave New Weed is up to, you can join our mailing list. Visit bravenewweed.com and sign up today.
Thanks so much for that amazing and enlightening interview, Izzy Blaze and Sunny Daze. So again, the spelling of their handles is Sunny, SUNNNY .daze, D-A-Z-E, and Izzy, I-Z-Z-Y _ BLAZEE. Check them out. Give them some love. They're going to give you a lot of love in return.
And they are just such nice people. So fun to hang out with, too.
Before we wrap, I want to just talk a little bit more about GoFire as our sponsor. We actually tried this device. Remember, Alan? We and it worked incredibly well, didn't it?
Oh yeah, it was amazing, and he took the cartridge out, and you could actually see the oil like precisely dripping. How would you describe it? Like
Yeah,
you
it sort of drips onto I guess it must drip onto a plate. I can't recall exactly, but that's right. When you adjust the dosage with the dial, you can adjust 2.5, 5, 7.5, and the size of the drop of oil actually changes concomitantly. So it's very visually apparent, isn't it, what you're taking?
What really impressed me about it was that you can search by ailment. So, like, I need something for anxiety, for example, or I need something to help me sleep. You can literally just search the app, and then it'll recommend a strain. And on the reverse of that, you can also when you put in the cartridge, it reads the cartridge and tells you exactly what the chemicals are that are inside of what you're about to take into your body.
Yeah, so you can actually learn a little as you go. It's a really cool device. And again, anyone who uses inhaled cannabis in small doses, probably for pain or sleep or stress or anxiety, should really look into the GoFire. It's going to be in its beta test. I think it begins in April. So you have a logon code from us. Again, it's BRAVE. BRAVE. You can find them on the web at gofire.co. GOFIRE.co.
Thanks for listening to the Brave New Weed podcast. This episode and all future episodes are made possible by amazing listeners like yourself. If you like what you've heard, we encourage you to show your support by giving $1 a month for special access and rewards on patreon.com/bravenewweed. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram via @BraveNewWeed. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/BraveNewWeed. And remember, you can always find more information about us or information discussed in each episode by pointing your favorite browser to bravenewweed.com.